In the center of town stood an ancient oak, a giant, older than the streets, older than the people, older than memory itself. By daylight, it was beautiful. The branches arched like cathedral ceilings, leaves catching the sun in a golden crown. Families gathered in its shade. Children laughed beneath it. The bubbles etched their names into its bark, as though love itself could live forever inside the wood. But when the sun fell, the tree was something else entirely. Its arms stretched wide like skeletal fingers. The bark looked charred, black, and cracked. And the sound it made when the wind passed through was not leaves, but ropes straining, ropes creaking, ropes that weren't there. A newcomer to town noticed it first. A man who walked alone after midnight, when the streets were empty and silent. He felt it, the way the air grew colder near the roots, the way the grass seemed to rot in circles at its base. One night, he saw it, bare feet dangling above the ground, gone the instant he blinked. He told himself it was imagination, but it never left his mind. He started digging, asking questions. People smiled politely, then shut their mouths. They didn't want to talk about it. So he went to the archives, deep into the town's forgotten records. And there, he found the truth. The tree was once the town's gallows. For decades, the condemned were marched to its trunk, nooses tied high into its branches. Crowds gathered, watching bodies twist and choke in the night air. Men, women, innocents, criminals, it didn't matter. They all fed the tree. Their final breaths sank into its bark. Their bodies swung until morning, dripping life into its roots. But death didn't stop there. Years later, long after the executions ended, a rope was left hanging. A child found it. The children laughed, dared one another, swung from it as if it were a game. But when dawn came, only one child still hung there lifeless, eyes wide open, as though the tree itself had claimed them. The rope was cut down, but the tree already had what it wanted. Then came the fire. A blaze tore through the town, devouring everything in its path. Houses collapsed into ash. The courthouse crumbled. The church bells melted. Nothing survived, except the tree. When the smoke cleared, it still stood, taller than before, its bark black but unburned. People whispered that the fire hadn't touched it because it already belonged to death. When the town was rebuilt, it was rebuilt around the tree, as though no one dared to remove it. The newcomer stared at the records, horrified. He realized the tree had stood through centuries of death, feeding on it, growing stronger with every soul it claimed. It hadn't just survived history, it had consumed it. And still, it waits. Even now, if you walk past it at midnight, you'll feel it, the weight of eyes in the branches, dozens of them, all watching. Sometimes the shadows sway when the air is still. Sometimes you'll hear the ropes tighten, fibers snapping as though someone else has just been claimed. The oak is beautiful in the sun, but in the dark, it's a graveyard that never stopped feeding. And if you ever find yourself beneath it after midnight, whatever you do, don't look up.